So you're trying to break into the software world, and you already know it's pretty tough out there right now. In this explainer, we're going to cut right through all the noise and give you a real actionable game plan. This is all built from expert advice on how you can actually stand out. Let's get right into it. Look, let's not sugarcoat this at all. The job market for junior developers is rough. If you're feeling that pressure, trust me, you are not imagining it. And you know what? Acknowledging that reality is the very first step to actually beating it. So, how in the world do you navigate all this? We've broken it down into a super clear roadmap. First, we'll get a handle on the market itself. Then, we'll talk about getting past those gatekeepers, how to totally ace the soft skills, and of course, how to nail the technical interview. And we'll wrap it all up with the one big takeaway you need to remember.
Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Why does it feel like you're just hitting a brick wall over and over again? Well, it really all boils down to one major problem.
The main issue is pretty simple, actually. A lot of companies have either hit pause or just seriously cut back on hiring for those entry-level roles. And what that does is create this huge bottleneck, right? It makes an already competitive field even more crowded, right at the very start. But this brings up a much bigger long-term question. This isn't just a problem for you today, it's a potential crisis for the entire industry tomorrow. I mean, think about it. If no juniors are getting trained up right now, who's going to become the senior developers of the future? It's creating this massive skill gap that a lot of companies just aren't thinking about yet. Okay, with all that in mind, let's get practical. How do you actually get past the automated filters, the sea of resumes, and get a chance to show what you can really do? Now, this is probably the most important point. You have to stop the shotgun approach. Seriously, sending hundreds of resumes into the void is so much less effective than getting just one warm referral. A personal connection gets your name in front of a real human being, and right now, that is half the battle. So, how do you get those referrals? Well, you've got to build a genuine network. And this isn't about being fake or schmoozy. It's about being an active, helpful part of the community. Join some coding discords, actually engage in online discussions, maybe contribute to an open source project. The goal here is to make real connections with people. So when a role opens up, you're the person they think of. All right, listen up, because this is probably the single most important piece of advice you're going to hear. We're in an age where AI can spin up a dozen little projects in an afternoon. Your key differentiator, your secret weapon, is proving you can build something substantial and see it all the way through to the end. A single large project is just so powerful for a few key reasons. One, it shows dedication. Two, it gives you real, concrete talking points for an interview. Three, it proves you have skills that go way beyond just typing a simple prompt into an AI. And four, if it's deployed live, it's basically your portfolio working for you 24/7. Okay, so you did it. You got past the gatekeepers, you landed the interview. Awesome. Now it's time to focus on the human element. Acing the soft skills is just as critical as nailing the code, sometimes even more so. Preparation is absolutely everything here. You gotta go beyond just the code and show up ready. Research the company, and I mean deeply. Prepare some really thoughtful questions. Warm up your voice so you sound confident. Make sure you look presentable. And yeah, a little bit of caffeine can really help you stay sharp and engaged. This all comes down to something called domain-specific knowledge. It just means you don't only know about coding. You know about their product, their industry, their goals. Referencing a recent feature you saw on their blog shows you're actually invested in what they're doing, not just looking for any old paycheck. And please, never forget this. At the end of the day, a person is hiring another person. Being kind, being enthusiastic, and making a genuine connection, that can be the tiebreaker that puts you ahead of someone else who might have similar technical skills but just didn't connect. All right, let's shift gears. You've made a great personal impression. Now it's time to prove your technical chops and nail that technical interview. Your tech prep has a few key pillars. You've got to practice those common coding challenges. You have to know every single technology on your resume inside and out. And please, for the love of all that is good, don't forget the basics. Test your mic, your camera, and your screen sharing before the interview starts. Now, for that moment every junior developer absolutely dreads. The interviewer asks you a really tough question, and your mind just goes completely blank. What do? Do you panic? Do you try to make something up on the spot? No. The advice here is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Just be honest. It is 100% okay to say, I don't know.
A good interviewer is going to respect your honesty and your composure way more than they'll respect someone trying to bluff their way through an answer they clearly don't have.
Even better, here's how you turn "I don't know" into a huge win. Ask to share your screen, pop open a simple diagramming tool, and start mapping out your thought process. Even if you don't get to the perfect answer, showing how you approach a problem is incredibly valuable to an interviewer. And that brings us to a very modern question. I mean, we all use AI assistants to help us code every day, but what's the etiquette during a live technical interview? It's this weird gray area that can feel like a total trap. The rule here is actually super simple. Just ask. Don't assume anything. The default expectation is that you're going to solve it yourself. If you think an AI tool might be appropriate, ask them directly. Say something like, "Would you prefer I solve this on my own, or are you comfortable with me using an AI assistant?" That clarity prevents any kind of misjudgment. Wow, we have covered a ton of ground, from just getting noticed to totally nailing the interview. So let's boil all of that down into your final game plan. Here it is, your checklist for success. Focus on networking to get those warm referrals. Build that one big, impressive project. Prepare for the soft skills just as much as the technical skills. Be honest when you're stumped. And above all else, let your genuine curiosity and your enthusiasm shine through. And we'll end by circling all the way back to that larger industry question. Your struggle is real, for sure, but your persistence matters so much. This isn't just about you landing a job. It's about making sure the next generation of software builders is ready to take the reins. Now go get 'em. Good luck.